At every turn.
Lindsay is Osama bin Laden. Okay.
At every turn.
Lindsay Laden. Hey, my love. So, welcome back to our channel. Thank you so much for joining us again. I know we're a little bit late getting this out to you guys, so we're sorry about that. I'm Intisar. You can call me Zar. This is Joe.
Hey, hey.
And we're talking all things Married at First Sight. This was a really good episode, I feel like, because I felt like things were kind of just happening. Um,
What you mean? What you mean? Things was just happening.
I think that you got a better idea of every character, like
Oh,
every
okay.
person. Like you got to see a little bit more of Steve. You got to see a different side of Noy. Even Alyssa, who
Well,
Voldemort.
she's not there no more, so
No, but even
she's
seeing
gone.
her interactions with her people kind of affirmed all the things that we've been saying all this time. So it's been fascinating. But
Yeah.
if you have not already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, All Things Hair. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, getting some rest, but I'll be back very soon. Some respite. I'll be back very soon. So make sure you guys are checking me out there. I'll have this unit. This is not my hair. I know it look like mine.
Uh-huh.
It looks very close to my hair
It
actually,
does. It
but
looks good.
but this is a wing and she was only like $13. So there's that. Okay. And I'll be sure to give you guys the details on that one as well. But let's dig into Married at First Sight. I kind of want to open this one. I'm coming in a little bit hot on. I'm gonna open with Elijah Wan and Katina.
Well, that's not hot. That's the. I mean, that's the best first
Well, I
to
think
me.
them as a couple, obviously, we're opening with them because I feel like they've had the least amount of drama this episode. However, I want to start. I'm saying I'm starting hot because I kind of felt a little bit triggered by the conversation that she had with her friend.
Yes.
So, and I don't know if triggered is the right word. It might not be the right word. So, Katina talks to her girlfriend, and I was kind of proud. I was really proud of Katina, actually. And the friend told her about her reservations
With Elijah
with
one.
Elijah one.
Yeah.
And she just said, they were a bit taken aback that he had never dated a black woman, um, which honestly doesn't surprise me a bit.
Why you say that?
I think that Elijah
Well,
Wan
first,
is half black. So to
that's what. Well,
me,
that's what that was. Katina's response to her friend.
yeah, like I do think people take a side. He's obviously a black man. Let's be clear about that. But I do think that he has a white mother. Am I right about that? So for him to date white women, that to me is par for the course. It would be the same way as if a black man, you know what I mean, has a darker mother and a lighter father, but he dates dark skinned women. You know what I mean? To
Yeah.
me, that is it's equivalent to that because he didn't say he didn't like black women. He went on to say that he thought that black women didn't like him.
Yeah, he was basically saying his response when they talked about it to the friends, or was it to Katina? I
It was
think.
to Katina's friends.
Okay.
He was the contentious conversation he had with them. I didn't even remember that child when she
Yeah,
said she was there. I said, "Where was
I didn't
she
I
at?"
didn't either. But what he said was, when they asked why, he basically said he didn't say that he wasn't attracted to black women. He said he just felt like he wasn't getting picked. Like he felt like
Mm-hmm.
the black women weren't necessarily attracted to him.
Mm-hmm.
And then Katina actually gave some more background story about that and saying that it also wasn't that he hadn't dated any black women. He just hadn't been in
A
serious
serious relationship,
relationships
which
with
also
any,
makes a
which
difference.
is a big difference. Yeah.
But where I took, oh, first of all, let's pause real quick. We're drinking Starbucks today, guys. We're filming kind of
Oh.
relatively early. Joe has a venti vanilla sweet cream cold brew
Yeah.
with almond milk. That's why I look white and nasty. Like,
Don't. No, that's
but
not
it's
why.
funny because I usually only drink coffee if it's dark skin like me. I like my coffee dark skin.
Yeah, but
But
sometimes.
this one is given. This one is
Yeah.
given.
Now that's white. Don't call
No, that's
mine's white.
whipped cream. It was a. It's a.
What color is whipped cream?
It was a caramel frap.
It's light and high yellow.
It's fantastic. I had 2 shots of espresso on the side because I need that blackness. Oh,
I don't see it in the cup.
unlike Elijah wine.
Elijah Wine is with a black woman right now,
Right
married
now.
to one.
And
How about
I'm
that?
glad, but I'm glad that she kind of like held him down, like slow up. Like I recognize because I don't think that they gave him enough benefit of the doubt, and that's
Well,
what
no one
annoying to
gives
me
Elijah
too.
Wine the benefit of the doubt, which we talked about in week 1, and I told people slow up, and now we're seeing a little bit more, and I think that the big part about the conversation that I really appreciated was Katina basically leaning into the idea that we're married now.
Period. First of all, and don't have no reservations about mine. You and mine don't need to have no reservations going no fucking where. So that's my other thing
That
about
part.
it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can support your friends. I always tell people this. I can always tell, and this is so bad. Y'all gonna think this is bad, but guess what? I don't care. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I really yes, and I'm dropping f bombs early. What time is it? We under 10 minutes, and I'm dropping f bombs. I really do believe the way that y'all respond to situations, I can tell if y'all single or if y'all unmarried.
Oh, 1,000%.
Because as a married woman, I would never sit in the front of them. And I tell people this all the time, and y'all gonna fight me in the comments. I know y'all like to tussle. That I literally tell people all the time. When it comes to your relationship, you understand how sacred marriage is. So when people start saying things like, "Oh, I would let you know if such and such, if he was doing this," or I didn't like when he did boom, boom, boom. It ain't for you to fuck the light.
That's period.
It was so fascinating to me is that it was never for you to make any distinction about because he was gonna be mine whether you liked him the fuck or not.
And not only that, but I think just in general, the overblown reactions to whatever happened in somebody's previous life, their previous life being 2-3 weeks ago, on a show entitled "Married at First Sight," is just I'm a little bit weary of these big conversations and these big overreactions to things that happened yesterday, and I met you an hour ago. You know what I mean? Regardless of who he used to date, how he used to date them, that was in his past. He's now married. He's married to a black woman.
Period.
How about that? Is that a big deal or no? Right? So regardless of who he used to date or how he used to do it, it was in his past.
Don't put the kibosh on it now. We together.
Not only that, but let's talk about the present in this situation because me and this person don't have a history. Like it's not like like you know what I mean. So I think we see conversations in many of the couples where there's like a big to do about what happened in the past. We saw one. We'll talk about the other show that we watched. We'll bring this up when we talk about Love is Blind, but it's just another example of like a situation where like somebody was making a big deal about something that happened before they met them last week. You know what I mean? So we got to keep things in perspective and go like, and I love that Katina did because it's very easy, especially when your friends is putting a battery in your back. It's very easy to go trying. It's very easy to go off on the deep end, perseverating and stewing over something that happened when this person didn't even know who you were.
And I want us to do more of being conscious of like I don't know that I'm not saying don't give your I'm saying don't give your opinion with a grain of salt. See, the problem is that we expect the other person to provide the grain of salt. But I think if you come off and you say things like, well, because I'm a question asker. Like,
Yeah.
Jazz will say that all the time. Like, instead of me telling you how I feel, I'm going to keep asking you questions until you get to the place that I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'll say one statement and then we'll come to the same kind of place, I feel like. Because I think it's so getting involved with affairs of the heart is such a fascinating thing. And then you see the growth, right? Because when I'm saying grace is, it's so hard to meet somebody a day after they literally met your friend at the altar, and then you make a sound, you get all these red flags in the fucking 45 minutes maybe you had a conversation with them. Like, that to me is like fascinating.
Yeah,
Like,
and I think that we
even though I do that.
there was one friend who actually happened to be
Her best friend, yeah.
Mrs. Didn't know this actually happened to be Troll's friend. I'm saying
Oh
there's been one
yeah.
friend out of like everybody who I've been waiting for somebody to say this, because sometimes they'll sit down with these people, they'll go back to their friends and they'll say, well, he did this and she did that and she did that and he did that. And the friend finally said, I wish I would have gotten a chance to meet him, because I really have no idea of who he is as a person. And sometimes you are the issue. That was
I'm
the
trying to figure
that
out
was
how we got here.
because be,
I'm like, wait, damn it.
because we were talking about the friends.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, and we
Yeah.
were talking about the friends.
What's clear is that these friends are reading them well though.
That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
that was but that I'm saying that that was
But she
an
was reading
honest thing.
her
Yeah,
and not the person,
yeah,
is what you're
right,
saying.
right. And that was an
Okay. I'm
honest
here
thing
though.
to say,
I'm
because a
here.
lot of the friends don't say that honestly.
Yeah.
They don't say, you know what, I hear you, but I really can't speak to what, in this situation it was Chris. I can't speak to what Chris was doing or not doing because I've never met Chris. So I
Yeah.
don't have a personal account myself of Chris, but I know you, and I know that
And I
sometimes
know
you
how
can
you
do X,
do.
Y.
I know you for your
We
works.
don't see that enough though.
Right.
We don't see that enough on the show,
And
and I
I
appreciated that
and I
moment.
do, but I appreciate when people defend their friends' right to be wrong. But I do think that and I'm gonna give her friend the benefit of the doubt, because when I first saw it, I thought, and this is Katina's friend. When I first saw it, I thought, you doing the most. But then I thought, Katina just got married. See, like, couldn't none of my friends come to me and talk to me like that. For most of my good friends' lives, I've always been married, right? So like, the life of our friendship. So it's always like I would be like, "Are you fucking like?" It is so fascinating to me. But you can also tell who not really about marriage based on their
Yeah,
conversations. And not saying that they don't want to be married. That's not what I'm saying. Not saying that they're not in long-term relationships. I'm saying people who do not understand how sacred marriage is,
yeah,
and how important it is, and how I always tell people, you do not know me as a wife. Not
right.
if I'm your daughter, not if I'm your sister, your auntie, nothing. You don't know me as a wife. He's the only person who knows me that way, right? So when you say things, or when people lay seeds, it's not being received as the friend. It's
Right,
only being received as the wife.
right.
Does that make
Yeah,
sense? So like, where we used to kiki about certain shit, we can never kiki about Joseph Connor,
yeah,
and he gets on my fucking nerves. But that doesn't mean that, like, you know what I mean? This is an opportunity for us to have a jam session about mine. Like, I just can't. I don't. What did she think Katina was going to do? Like, yeah, girl, you right. I don't know. I don't want to
well,
harp on that, but
I think maybe that is what she thought, and I think Katina is turning over a
she
new
nipped
leaf
it in the
because,
bud.
but also Katina's in a different space now. Katina is a whole married woman, and
Period.
like, to your point, you respond differently to stuff, right? The way
Yeah.
that it would just be like throw the whole person away is it's very different when you're married, right? And I think, to your point, speaking to somebody who's not married doesn't they don't always understand that. So they'll make these flippant comments like, "Oh, I'd have just packed my shit and left," and da da
Everybody
da da.
woulda, did it, did it. Y'all
Right.
always doing something.
Yeah, right.
Sit the
Right.
fuck down. But I was saying all that to say, Elijah once sat down with his friend. I actually really like his friend. He is
He
so
got some
funny
sound. He
how he
has
got
some
some
sound
solid people.
friends.
So
But
do Katina though.
you know what? Good people attract good people, and that's
Yeah.
also a sign that people should have gave Elijah some more chances and some more graces, right?
It's
Because,
because he gave us too much in the beginning.
but it what it is, and Katina made a good point about this because she's also very tapped in.
She is tapped in.
She said, "I understand people's reaction," because Keisha asked her about her friend in that conversation, and she said, "You know what? I understand. She basically said, just to summarize, Olajuwon is polarizing. You
Yes.
either like him, you either
Hmm.
meet him and you love him, or you meet him and you do not like him,
I've
right?
heard that about myself. Eric told me that's how he feel about me. He
I could,
loves
I
me.
could, I could,
He loves
I
me,
could be
but
on.
he
I
could
could,
see how people could be like, "Oh, I don't like her."
I
Well,
can
that's not what he
understand that,
said.
but
That's
I
not
can
what he
understand that.
said.
But to her point, like
Which I get.
she was saying, like, I understand, like, he's a strong personality. So and it's funny because when Keisha went and spoke to the other two people on the after party, I think it was Steve and I can't
Chris.
Chris, they both gave these personal accounts of how much they love
They
Olajuwon,
love him,
and
which
how
I
and you could
thought
tell
was
how much
so dope.
everybody loves Olajuwon, right?
I thought that was dope. And I
So
also want them to stop calling him O. And that's a
that's
personal
his
thing.
home. That's
No,
his
it's
nickname.
like I said, it's a personal thing. My name is Intisar. I know the trauma behind not saying your name.
Well, I
And I
think
know that what that does to
he
people.
might have he might have
Because
told
he
them,
does
like, call
not.
me up.
No, for sure. But he said that because I don't tell people to call me Zar because I love being called Zar. I tell people to call me Zar because I don't want you to fuck my name up.
Yeah, yeah,
The trauma of people hearing people mess my name up bothers me so much that I'm just like, call me Zar.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I want people to call him Elijah because that's his name.
But sometimes it's an
But
endearing.
I'm a mama.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Because
know what I
sometimes
mean?
it's an endearing thing. Sometimes people look for a nickname just for a more personal account.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I
To
mean?
be
Where it's
close
not.
to.
Yeah, yeah.
But I did love
Like you
seeing
have a
him.
friend. Not to cut you off, but you have a friend who, and we never really talked about this.
Uh oh.
So we're talking. We're
I'm
not, and we
nervous.
still not talking about it because we a little public. But you have a friend who calls you an even shorter nickname than Czar. And I don't know if you cringe when she does it, but sometimes I do. But I know because I know that this friend loves you.
Who is this friend?
I know that she does it she does it for the same thing I just said, where it's a personal thing. Like it's a personal, like when she says it, I can tell that she's doing it endearingly and lovingly.
Is this a new friend or an
It's
old
a new
friend?
friend, so you know who I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah, when they short, yeah, that
You
does,
understand what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah.
But I don't think you ever thought that she was doing it. You
No,
see what I
no,
mean,
no,
though?
no. Sorry guys, we're herping. Y'all know how we do.
Yeah.
I want to get on to Elijah Watt's friend. I think he's a fantastic human being. I think he really came through and said some real stuff. And I really think it's so funny when you see people's friends and how polarizing their personality, not polarizing, but polar opposite
Yeah.
their personalities are. It was so cool to see him interacting and then interacting with Katina as well. And then her girlfriends interacting with them. Because I think that you got a different Elijah one this time around.
I felt like
Or more
I felt like her
relaxed.
girlfriend, at least her one girlfriend, was looking for beef, and I didn't
Which
like
one?
that.
The one
The cute one.
you thought the cute one was looking for?
Yeah.
She was cute. Hey, girlfriend.
She was looking. I felt like she was looking for, because towards the end, when they were doing like their little confessional off to the side, she said, "You know what? She pretty much was like, yeah, I like him.
Yeah.
She basically said he ain't do nothing wrong, but if he do, like she was looking. I don't like that energy.
But you know why?
That was whack to me.
But you know why? Because the best friend was there, had told them about the whole situation with the when they sat down. They all had came to a general consensus that they did not like Elijah Wan. So,
but that's what I mean. How
it was kind of corny.
Yeah, because you also have never met this person.
I agree.
So to come into a space, especially my home, and come in like with a battery in your back, looking for what's wrong, what he gonna do,
Yeah.
what he gonna say that's gonna piss me off, like I'm
Yeah.
ready to pounce. That's whack to me.
Or like he you know he gonna say something crazy.
Yeah, that was whack to me. And then at the end, it was like, because nothing happened, and he was a delightful person to be around, like everyone said he is. She was like, well, it was cool, he was nice, like that.
No,
was
I
corny.
thought she gave him his flowers.
No, she had egg on her face at the end.
Not egg on her face.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad he cut his hair because he looked like a grown man. He looked like a man who date black women.
Well, but that's something that Katina even said. She said, it was maybe his hairstyle, maybe how he dressed or whatever,
Yeah.
that a certain group of people were more attracted to him. But I thought that it was also dope that he cut his hair for her. You know what I
Oh, I
mean?
loved it
That show
because
you
you
that he's
do want to
also
look
a
a
part of.
certain way.
He's dialed into the process because it's about wanting to do things that pleases your spouse. That's that's the part that you get it. Like when you when that thing clicks and it's the unselfish part of you takes
Hmm.
over and it's like, I wonder how she thinks about this. I wonder what she thinks about that. You know what I mean?
Let's go on to Michael and Jasmina.
Oh Lord.
Talking about people who don't got much going on, but got every very. It's like such an undercurrent of struggle.
It is.
It's like too
But
much,
it don't have to be.
and it's tired. But you know what? And I want to give a big ups to Michael's sister, who is clear and concise and just she was so spot on because I think she must have heard how we were feeling. Like she must have heard in the back of her mind, obviously, how we were feeling about Jasmina, all of us, including Michael. And
Yeah, including me.
she said something so real like this woman is trying to figure out a space where she could be vulnerable with this man that she does not know, she just met. She provided such perspective, and I thought it was so effing dope. And I love the way she talks to Michael, but I love the way she talks to Jasmina as well. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like keeping it 100. Like, I want y'all to be close. Like, I want to know if you like him or not, or whatever the case may be, because Jasmina does not like him.
And that's not, I
And I
don't,
can't wait
that's
till she
not up
tell
for
the
debate.
truth.
That's not up for debate. And I but I appreciate her even bringing that up in conversation.
And she brought it up
And in a
nicely.
nice, I mean, I mean, everything is in the delivery. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Everything is in the delivery. She brought it up nicely. It wasn't
at
confrontational.
all.
I mean, she should. I
And she
mean,
caped for him in a way that didn't feel like she was negating Jasmina's feelings.
right.
Does
Like
that make
she should
sense?
do a master class on how to speak to sir because
She's
that
phenomenal.
just the subject alone is a
Phenomenal.
touchy subject, and I could see in many situations that going left in I mean the it doesn't even matter who the people are involved. Like I could just see it going left, but she brought it up in such a way that was palatable for Jasmine and also respectful, and then let her know like, yeah, he doesn't think that you like him, or he doesn't know if you like him. That's what she said.
Yeah.
He doesn't know if you like him. So imagine trying to navigate a space where you don't even know if this person is attracted to you.
And all you keep talking about is communication, and which is so fascinating. Let me tell you the signs that I know that Jasmina is not, as much as I like her, and I want to really put that out there that I really do like her, but it's very clear to me she's not that great of a human being.
Yeah,
The
but
only thing,
and when you say you like her, she's aesthetically pleasing. Like, let's be
I
honest,
do
yo.
like pretty people,
But
and
that
I ain't ashamed to say it.
and the fact,
But
and the fact of the matter is that this is what I was trying to say to people on Twitter, people in the comment. Pretty people get passes.
oh, that's a fact.
Jasmina, especially early on, like she's done things to redeem herself a little bit
I
as of
think so.
recent, but yet Jasmina very early on really wasn't doing nothing that was much different from what anything that Alyssa did. Let's be honest about it.
Well, I still don't think she is doing anything much
You see
different.
what I mean?
But
But pretty people get passes.
but I
So
also
because we like the way she looks and she black like this and all these other things, everybody on Twitter got a
don't come
battery
for
in their
her.
back
She is
because.
pretty and she does
But
get a
let's call a
pass.
spade a spade.
But okay, no, I ain't gonna fight you about that. You ain't lying. But what I'm getting at is that it's clear to me, and not because her friends said, well, you could be confrontational too, and you don't like when anybody takes any kind of tone with you,
Which
and
was so telling.
was
Which
let me
was
tell
so
when the white girl was giving it to a white fish was giving her order, and I said, you know, I like this little white girl because I like friends who are honest.
honest.
You know what I mean? Like, girl, I ain't gonna let you get a pass over here. Like,
Straight up.
listen, you know, like I know that's how you act. Like, you know what I mean? Go ahead, you can tell lies to yourself, but I'm gonna tell the truth about you.
And
So,
she confirmed everything that we've been talking about and everything that we've been saying. The friend.
but even down to like the tone, like you
Yep.
have a tone when you talk too.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you say things, you harp on things, like you don't apologize fast, like you
Right.
know what I mean? Which aren't bad traits. Like I want to be clear. They aren't terrible traits. We all have a thing. You know what I mean? That we
Yeah,
do
it
that
was
might
just
not be the
important to bring it up
greatest.
in a situation where it felt like you was dumping on this human being.
And that you need a little bit of accountability as well.
Right. That's
And I
what it
think that
is.
that's what she provided her with. And she said something that I thought was so important. I cannot remember, but it was something about like something about the more you communicate, or something like that. She said something so simple, like the only way to communicate is to communicate. Like, you know what I mean? You just have to talk about everything.
And let me just say this to address the comments in Twitter. I think that what the friend said was so on point because people like to say, well, Michael got his issues too. Everybody has issues,
Period.
right? Everybody has issues. You meet a perfect person, I'm gonna show you a liar.
Hmm.
Everybody has issues. Having issues and flaws is not the problem. It's having issues and flaws without the accountability that is the problem. And that was my issue with Jasmina. Everybody on the show has issues. Everybody in life has
Yeah.
issues. But the friend sat up in front of her and said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, but all we hearing is Michael, 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 Michael."
Right.
What is
Right.
Jasmina doing to add to whatever this miscommunication is,
Hmm.
whatever bump in the road it is? And I think I wanted to see more of that just from Jasmina.
But I'm just tired of her being in scenes with him and rolling her eyes at him.
It just
It's kind of and I I'm just
it
tired.
just
I'm
confirms
just tired.
that
Cause
she
he
does not
ain't
like this man.
the more I watch him, the more I realize he
He's
ain't a bad dude.
he's
Like,
not.
you know how you can sometimes tell, even despite the fact that he lied about the whole living with the women or whatever the case may be, a case can be made for redemption. Do you know what I mean? Like, okay, like we get it or whatever the case may be. But I thought that that was telling with her friend. But the other thing that was telling with her friend, I don't know if y'all picked this up, when the other young lady was talking about Jasmina, and I'm not saying this to like kind of say add evidence to her not being a great person. It's more like clarity for me about who she is.
Yeah.
So when her other friend said, "Well, when me and Jasmina argue, um, we'll just keep going. It'll get petty." Do you remember? She was like, "It'll get more petty and more petty." The one with the large
Mm-hmm.
smile.
Mm-hmm.
She said that, and I thought, in all my, I'm a full grown ass woman. It's no way I'm going back and forth with my girlfriend. I'm not even. Or I can't even remember last time I had an argument with a girlfriend.
You won't Jasmina
How?
will never cop to that.
And I'm not saying that you don't get grown people don't get together and do certain things. I'm saying the level of respect and admiration for I have for every woman in my life, to have an argument where it would be reduced to some doing petty things to one another, to me is just like, y'all are weird.
And,
Y'all are weird, bro. Like, y'all built different. Like, that's
and
weird.
but imagine sitting up and everybody face that will listen, Jasmina, whether it's Pastor Kyle or us, and trying to convince us that in every disagreement y'all had, it was always Michael.
Y'all weird.
Like, come on. Like we're not gonna do that.
We're not gonna do that. And but I did like that when she said, like, you just gotta nip it in the bud. Like, don't let it linger
Yeah.
because it'll get petty. And my husband is petty, and it can get petty.
So is my
Child.
wife.
I'm not. I'm petty by what do they
Petty is
call that?
petty. There is no.
It's a learned behavior for me because I'm really not instinctively like that. But I am. I tell people all the time, like, I don't. I believe in karma because I believe in me. And I know that if you do something to me, you gonna get a full circle because I ain't got to wait for the wrath of the ancestors. I'm coming for that ass. And it's just like, for real. I'm just not gonna do it. I don't give a fuck. My ancestors, they can handle whatever they need to handle on the back end, but I'm gonna hit you on the front end. And that's just it. Like, that's just it, and that's all. So I do think that, but I'm saying that not in a bad way. I'm saying, like, I understand what she's saying, where you just gotta nip it in the bud. Because
Right.
when you're dealing with petty people, you absolutely just gotta say enough.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
but also just in any marriage, in any
Any,
relationship,
yeah.
it can't be like we talk about what we label a race to the bottom. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because a race to the bottom,
Yes.
doesn't necessarily involve two petty people or one petty person
That's
and
the
another.
truth.
It just means
That's the truth.
what your call made a good point, Katina, in the after party when she said you don't want to start hitting below the belt and saying stuff like Shannon Sharp say it all the time. Drunks, angry people, and kids will say too much and tell you the truth too much and rip band-aids and hit low below the belt. And like Katina said, you don't want to start saying stuff that can't be unheard, right?
That's a
And it
fact.
don't take a petty person to say just
Say
in
something
it.
mean.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Um. Okay, let's talk about Voldemort and Chris. More so, Voldemort sitting down and her friend affirming that she ain't shit. Like we knew she
period.
wasn't shit. But you know what I want to say? I really want to shout out all the people who refuse to call her name. I think that y'all are the real MVPs. I've been watching a lot of like I'll do like watch
Well,
some things.
to be honest, baby, I think you started it.
I really think I did,
I'm not gonna
bro.
give them that much credit.
Bro,
I never
I was
seen nobody.
adamant from the first joint. Why not?
I never I never seen nobody else ever since you said it. That one video I haven't like. It was only after that I saw it. Not 1 minute before. Not on Twitter. Not on no YouTube videos. I'm just saying you heard it here
Or
first.
we all understand it's either that or we're all aligned on the fact that we understand the power of social media
And why
and,
she was here.
and why she was here, and we refuse to let her co-opt this platform for that bull snack because everybody I watch like all the girls, like y'all do they little reviews and everything like that, and it is so refreshing to now hear one of them say her name. Do y'all know how I'm so proud? So I want to say
Because
that.
people, it was very clear, and this may be a testament to Chris, because Chris obviously has the
Chris should have
biggest.
called her funky dog head ass
Oh,
bitch.
I should have queued up his own. Because so Chris obviously has the biggest platform of everybody involved in this situation, right? And Chris sat up there very clearly and calmly and said she might have been trying, but she was trying at doing the wrong things. She was not here for me, and he's been consistent in that, saying like, I don't know
And she been
what
doing nothing but lying.
nothing but lying. And so I think Chris was very good, and even with the experts not following up and not giving her the same energy that they gave last season's fuck boy. I think I think that whole movement of
Which I
of
don't
of
like.
her name shall not be said was really catapulted by Chris as well, because I think there was nobody else to, even the people on the cast sometimes was tiptoeing around it too much. And I'm
Yeah.
so proud of Chris for just saying like, this woman she was not committed to the process. She was not committed to me, and she was not here for the right reasons.
Period. And Keisha has been one. The more I watch her, the
Yeah.
more I realize
Well,
she's doing
are
a
we
fantastic
surprised? I
job.
mean, I don't want to
Fantastic
say it, but
job. She's just really good at like really getting to those questions or whatever the case may be. But I do think that I'm really happy that he is
so
done
much.
with her and that we're not saying her name as a collective. I'm proud of y'all. And I really thought it was very telling that her friend sat up there and said, like, girl, that stuff be you. Like,
Yeah.
because what this is this line that she said that kind of got me. She said, what did she say? I find it hard to believe. She said, I find it hard to believe that his friends would say those things about him, like in a negative way.
Right.
Because they weren't saying it in
They
a
weren't.
negative way. But then when you a friend and you watch that back and your friend just lied to your face, are y'all still friends? That's the question.
How about that?
That's the question. You're a fucking liar. Like, you know what I mean? And you could have been real with me. Granted, it's yours to, like, going back to the marriage thing. That's your husband, child. You can say whatever you want. But I do think, like, you can't sit up here and paint this man this way. And then got me all on the motherfucking mic looking like, yeah, girl, whatever you say.
And that's why I think she said what she said when she said,
Yeah, it was a
I
caveat.
I wish that I had gotten to meet him, because I really don't know him, but I do know
Mm-hmm.
you. And I wish I'd have got some more insight on like really who he is, because it sounds like you just gassed this whole situation.
Cause you're dead. So let's kick that whore to the curb.
Here.
Oh well, I didn't do anything. I didn't end it.
Yeah.
Like, this bitch is delusional.
Which is all she wanted. I mean, it was just a race to like make him break up with me first. Like, how high school can we get with this woman?
I cannot. Stephen Noy or Mark and Lindsay.
Stephen Noy, because Mark and Lindsay had a real big, and they ended on Mark and Lindsay for a reason.
Okay, so yeah, that's true, huh?
Yeah.
Stephen Noy. Let me tell you something. Steve is slowly becoming one of my favorite people on the show. Actually, honestly, this cast is really not a bad cast overall.
It's not. It's really not. Even
overall, it's really not.
Even like we said before, even Lindsay has like some redeeming qualities.
I mean, and she found a way every other episode to make me fight that feeling.
She
but
sure did.
But so this one I ain't too good with her, but uh but I think hopefully next week she can come on back. But I thought, first of all, Steve, so much was said on the after show that I really want to provide context for, because me and Joe had this conversation and I said that Noy is upset because Noy is not upset because Steve don't have a job. Noy is not upset because Steve don't have a plan. Noy is upset because she can't get Steve to do what the fuck she wants Steve to do, which is work. So now what she's not gonna do, she's not gonna cook. Y'all been in a house together for how long? You ain't never cooked for this man? Not
Well,
once?
yeah, now that
Like, you, so what she's doing is
did
saying
she
all the
ever?
wifely things I'm not doing because you to me don't do the manly things. But what's weird to me is y'all haven't even been together long enough for him to start investing financially, emotionally, all of that. So I thought it was just premature.
So I got a couple questions. One, my first question is the co- the whole cooking thing, because I text you about this earlier. It's never about the noodles, right? So
Wasn't about no goddamn.
it's never about the noodles. But my first question is with the cooking thing, when he says she never cooked, right? I don't Was that because she can't cook? Was it like a Katina thing? Because I was thinking, like, did I miss something?
I don't
Like,
think
did
it's
she
like a
say
Katina thing. I think it's like a punishment thing.
no? But I mean, like, they were good before that little argument, right? So,
I
because like he said on the after party, we might have 6 great days and then one bad day. You know what I mean? So I
but
don't
he
the cooking.
said
He said she never cooked, so that's why I'm like, why does she not? Was it because she said I she doesn't know how, or
she never said
okay?
that
I
we
was confused
know.
about
And
that.
if she had said it, y'all bust down and let us know.
The other thing is that I'm gonna push back on this. I heard her say twice during the episode, talking about Steve's lack of a plan. Cuz I said to her when we were watching it, I said my issue with Steve isn't that Steve doesn't have a job. It's that Steve doesn't have a plan, and Steve doesn't communicate to Noy about a plan or lack thereof or any type of thing like that. So I said that I don't believe that the issue is really Steve being an entrepreneur. I don't think that her issue is really because I think she's attracted to Steve and she likes Steve. I think that there is something to which goes back to their lack of communication. There is something to realizing and bringing into the fold that she has been traumatized by her past and being growing up as a refugee and all these other
Yeah.
things, which adds to their issue of their lack of communication and them not
Which
talking
adds
about
to her anxiety.
right. But it's a bigger issue of the fact that they don't talk about anything.
But
You understand what I'm saying?
and I do think there's something to that, right? But I want to push. Some people have issues when people are very clear about their answer. When see people won't ask you why when you say yes, but they'll ask you why when you say no. But
Yeah.
no is a full, like, that's like I can say no. He was very clear. We know that he was a stat. You know what? And this is what I was watching the after show, and Chris made a very. It's not the idea that this man has worked all his life, became an engineer, got to a place where he was in a company where I think he got laid off, was able to get a little package, have enough funds to travel, do whatever he wanted to do. All I feel like all of that is lost, because the real question is not, because she said she was alarmed that he has a network and don't want to work, and I'm alarmed that she feel all kind of. Why is he not
But
allowed?
this is why she's alarmed because they don't talk. So she doesn't even understand his mind.
No, but
I feel like
she know
Noy
that he
I
don't
feel
want to
like
go back to work
I
though.
feel like Steve has said
That
more.
he ain't going
I feel
back to a
like
9 to 5.
I feel like Steve has said more to the camera
Than her.
and in after hours than he has to her. And that's my issue with the situation.
See,
And
I
this is
don't
coming
believe
this
that.
is coming from somebody who is an entrepreneur who does not have a 9 to 5,
I
right?
don't believe that. I don't. It's
I've
funny,
never heard him say that to
but
her.
I'm watching it and I'm saying this man answered your question several times. He literally sat there and told you, I have an opportunity. I could build websites. I could do this. I could do that. Just because Well, he's
So
allowed.
so
What
this
I'm
has
getting
happened.
at
This has
though,
happened in mixed company. That's what I'm saying. Like y'all, it's clear that y'all aren't having these conversations amongst each
no,
other
he
because
said that to
somebody
her
the
not in this
friends will.
episode, but he did say that to her in a previous episode. She asked about it because she felt a way about it, and he said, I don't, I can do
I'm saying
plenty
I'm
of
talking about
things to
off
make money.
camera. Like I feel like the only time they're talking about these things are when we're watching them, and they're very surface conversations, right? Even that,
But we don't
even
know that for sure.
I
That's an
I
assumption.
don't that, and I'm saying that that's my assumption from what I'm seeing on camera. From what I'm seeing on camera, it's clear to me, and we both agreed about this before. It's very clear to me that they're not having in-depth
Well, no,
conversations,
I agree with that,
right?
but I also see something in Noi. What I'm getting at is that there is something in Noi, and I'm gonna tell y'all what makes me believe that she just wants him to change his answer. The negotiating about the kids. Her such hard stance on that makes me believe that you want things to be the way that you just want them to be. If I hear you say, me and you don't have to have a lot of conversations about why you don't want to go back and work a 9 to 5. I don't honestly think we ever really had a conversation about it. If we being fucking honest, right? The fact of the matter is, you just do what you do. You just do what you do. And for all intents and purposes, we don't necessarily even need to. I know the plan is that I have faith. You do what you need to do to make sure our household is taken care of. He literally sat there and said, I buy
So
groceries,
I think
I buy you
the
dinner.
difference is we got to add context to this, right? You've known me since I've been in high school, right? So you understand my passion, you understand my career, you've understand my goal to be my goal in high school was to be a full-time musician, right? Right or wrong. Okay, so this is a context of over 15 years that you're operating under, right? She just met this dude last night.
And
You
that's my
understand what
point
I'm saying?
too.
So
Why
hold
are
on,
you
let me
so
finish.
upset?
So my thing is she just met him last night, right? So if you are not having I can understand somebody being uncomfortable, especially coming from the background that she's come from. I can understand somebody being uncomfortable with somebody who also is not talk. I don't know what is Steve's passion?
But you know
What
what?
is you understand what I'm saying?
A thousand
Like I don't
percent.
if I just met him, I can't relax in trusting that you have something going on or trusting that I personally have been working towards my career since we've been in high school, right? What is Steve? I don't know anything about Steve. I don't
Nah.
know anything about that. I have every right to be uncomfortable, especially when we talk about a plan. When she talking about, she said to the friend, we want to have kids and we want to do this. I don't even know how we're gonna
But
put.
I think
I don't know
all of
how we're
that,
gonna provide for that because we don't talk about
but
anything.
I think all of that is the problem is the wrong, we talking about the wrong things, right? Like the reality is that ask him why he doesn't want to work. We still don't know that. Like, you know what I
That's but
mean?
that's my but
We
that's hold
still
on.
don't.
Put a pin in that. That's what I'm talking. I'm saying what you're talking to right now is communication.
But I'm saying that
There is
she
no communication here.
and we can go with that. But I still think that the way that she's reacted, even to say for him to have, what she said was, and let's be clear, because what she said was, I've never taken off and just didn't work and just said I just don't want to work for a certain period of time. That's a personal thing, and I want to be clear. I value anybody who know me over anything in life, and this might sound real bad. Security and finances are the most important thing to me. I don't care how nice you are to me. I don't care how good looking you are. You have to give me money. You have to make me feel valued. You have to, or I don't feel loved. And that's just the truth. I feel underappreciated, everything like that, right? So I get her. I get her because to me, what trumps everything for me is stability. You know what I mean? So I get it. I'm saying though that you, communication is all encompassing of so many things. And I think that she's not a good communicator because he said that himself. She don't want to talk about things. She get mad, she shuts down, whatever the case may be. I think that he would tell her these things. But I think that she has her mind made up about the kind of human being that he is. And I think that the freedom that this young man has to live the life that he chooses to live, it's very fascinating to me how much of an issue she has with it. One, because to your point, y'all ain't got 15 years in. If I'm just getting to know you, I would have, my thing is this. I remember being on a date with a guy he going, he in and out of traffic, everything like this. And I'm like looking at him like, oh my God, you know what he said? You ain't gotta worry, baby. I love my life. I'm not, bitch, you ain't got to be fucking worried because I'm going to take care of me. Like, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, right, I don't have to trust you to take care of me. I got to trust that you're going to take, at the very least, care of you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, my thing is, like, her thought process is so, like, odd to me because he's taking care, it's very clear that he's taking care of himself. He would need money to travel across the country. We do all agree with that, right?
Yeah,
because he need gas, food.
That's why I don't think.
Like that's why I'm like, this is bullshit.
And that's why I don't think that that's the issue because I keep seeing
the
message. The message that I keep getting is, what is the future like? What is the plan, right? Like he even said,
but we don't know if he ain't got $6 million in the motherfucker. We don't know, right?
Don't.
So
that's,
then
the problem.
The plan don't matter if I got $6 million.
But this is what I'm saying. But this is what I'm saying about communication. It's very clear that y'all not talking about that. Because if you had $6 million and y'all was talking about that, you would tell her that, and then she'd be like, "Well, we good because we got $6 million."
I don't know that I would tell her that in the beginning.
I don't know.
What he told her.
But
listen,
babe.
Right.
Before I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget my thought because what he said to the friend, sitting at the table is, well, you know how I am. I'm just kind of go with the flow, fly by the seat of my pants type thing, right? So obviously that speaks to planning is not really my thing. And then he leaned into it a little bit more and said like, but I want her to trust me. And that's my issue of like you gotta get to the point where you are communicating enough for her to trust you, because again, I don't think the issue is you being an entrepreneur, because like you said, I think if he went to her and said, we got X amount of money dollars in the bank, and this is what we're gonna have, I'm gonna make money in perpetuity off of this, that, and the third investment, and da. I don't think that she would be tripping the way she's tripping, because that to me is somebody who's not really into the person, right? If I'm searching for shit, like
I think she's searching for shit.
I think that she likes him. You know what I mean? I think that she's into him. You know what I mean? She's never given me. She's never given me an
unemployed men, and they don't act like that.
She's never given me an indication before this little spout. Like she's never given me an indication that she was because you gotta. Like, I wish we could cut to stuff, but you gotta literally go back to the first couple weeks, right? They were going too hard. He's so perfect. This was Noy saying this stuff. You remember that?
But I think the anxiety, to your point, of not knowing what the future holds is bothering her. And I think
this was early when nobody was talking about anything. But that's my point. Well, they were in the honeymoon. They were in the honeymoon.
He's I don't want to say unemployed, but he wasn't working.
Yeah, she
at a 9 to 5.
She knew even less then.
Right.
And she was, bloviating about him. He's so attractive. We're so perfect together. You asked them, even the couples when they were out with them, even the couples were like, who's in the catbird seat? Noy and Steve. You understand what I'm saying?
But I think
so. I can't put it on her now. Well, she just searching. She was just in love with him, like 2 weeks ago.
I'm saying I do think that there's something to self-sabotaging, and I do think that
there is. There is something to self-sabotage. But I'm saying we also. We can only take from what we're seeing, right? And I'm saying that
from what I'm seeing, she's self-sabotaging.
But I'm saying we also saw that she was very into him.
And that's a clear mark of a self-sabotager. You do know that.
Can we agree that we did see that she was into him?
And I'm saying that.
No. Can we agree or not that we saw her being into him?
Yeah, but
okay.
I still think that I don't think that they're not into each other. I think that she's a self-sabotager.
You said she wasn't.
I know. I'm saying that I think that she is a self-saboteur, which means that I can still like you and love you and do all these things, right? But because I don't know what to do with my hands, I'm just going to blow this shit up. I think that this is such a silly conversation to be having. I think that the bigger conversation is getting to know him and understanding what even brought him to this place.
I think the bigger issue is communication.
Is that not what I'm saying?
Yeah, no.
No. Am I saying something different?
I'm saying that in order to get to know somebody, you have to speak to them.
I literally am saying that.
Yeah. So we agree. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like we're not That's my whole thing was when we first saw this issue was communication. So you don't disagree with my stance because my stance has always been they don't communicate enough.
I think that is part of it, yes. But I also think, and I don't care what y'all say, I'm a very good judge of character. Noi has issues with people not doing what she wants them to do. When it came to the dog, can we move the dog off the bed? I'm giving y'all all examples. Can we
Two
move the
things could
dog
be
off the
true.
bed? But that's what I'm getting at. I think that this is a culmination. It's not about the noodles. I think that this is a culmination of things, right? I think that yes, they do need to communicate more. But on top of that, she's rigid. Okay,
She is.
she's rigid,
It's not. It's just. It's what I'm saying is I'm not. Listen,
and that don't make
what
for a
you
good recipe either.
and what I'm not never going to do is try to cape for somebody's personality who I also met on TV 2 seconds ago.
How about that?
All I'm pointing out is that there are multiple fronts of issues
Oh,
here,
1,000%.
and I think that all of the issues don't lie in noise camp. That's what I'm saying. Like I understand. I can.
I think
I
that
can.
she's dead wrong
I
for how
can.
she's been acting.
I can
period.
agree.
She did wrong.
I can agree that Noy has faults and Noy has handled some situations, some instances of this entire situation wrong. But I just can also agree that so has Steve. Like, you know what I mean?
But you know what though?
That's
I
all I'm
don't.
saying.
The only reason why I'm going to push back on that, because to your point, when we talk about communication and how we really haven't seen them communicate, we have not seen her ask hard questions either. So my thing is, in a spirit of people holding people accountable, if you want somebody to show up and be a certain way, you have to speak that into them, right? So you can't be mad because you don't know the plan, but you don't really ask about the plan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, not once have we actually seen her like, okay, like, let's say this month, this is what's going on. How do we handle that? Whatever the case may be, like, ask real questions. And I think that also don't put your trauma, because we're missing this part too, on somebody new. He has never, it's very clear that Steve has not lived a life like that, right? So my thing is, your trauma, your financial trauma is not his to behold. Now, it's his to be conscious of. He has a responsibility now that he knows. However, he does not have the same anxiety about finances as you have. Obviously, because he has set himself in a space where he does not need to. Chris says something so valuable. He said, y'all do not understand how successful sales engineers are. Like, you know what I mean? That is a very successful position. So to be in a space where you get there, you thrive, and then you can make the decision that you don't want to work. You think that a person who is an engineer spent their life doing math and science will quit a job and not have no fucking money? And nothing like that.
I don't think that's
sense.
the issue. I think the issue is
a
the
level
future.
of excellence to do that. But what I'm getting at is that the same aptitude that it took him to reach that level of excellence does not go away. That same need to be the best, to do the best things, does not go away. How you view them, how you go about them changes when you prioritize what's important to you. He's prioritized that his time is more important to him. How he handles his time is more important to him. What he does is, like, in that way, is more important to him. And I think that that's okay. I think to be so upset that you won't even cook this man noodles.
Right, and it's not about the noodles, and it's nothing wrong with nothing that you're saying. But I'm saying that I think we can all agree that you saying much more than Steve ever said. That's all. Like, let's just be real about it.
I think Steve is an engineer, y'all. If y'all know me, I'm in technology. That's how we talk.
But again, that's cool.
I'm speaking his language,
and that's cool and all. But like we always say, if we're talking about being in a marriage, especially being in you got to talk. You got to. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying we got to have accountability on both sides. It sounds like you are. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to say is that I think in this instance, and when he sat Noi down and checked her little ass, he was right to do so. You could do a lot of things.
Absolutely. We talking about the noodles now?
Move there. But right, because all of this honestly stemmed from that. And I don't care what nobody say, okay? It just had to.
Oh, yeah. I'm like I said, it's never about the noodles. So
you know what I mean? And I think that, like, it's something to the child, the fact that she wouldn't even now he's got to make all these accommodations for your dog, whatever the case may be. He be making her lunch during the day, making dinner, whatever the case may be. So it's not that y'all not eating at home, right? Y'all eating at home. You ain't never once got up and cooked this man nothing to eat. Is
Yeah,
that
that was
weird
weird
to
to
me?
me.
Is that weird to y'all?
But
Is
that's
that
why
weird?
I asked the question that I asked in the beginning, because it's not weird if it's not weird if that's what y'all do and that's the dynamic. So that's why I'm like, I don't, like I said in the previous video, we know a couple who the wife never ever cooked, and for them it's not weird because that's just not what their dynamic
But
was,
is
right?
that the dynamic that
I
see?
don't know.
Is
That's
that
what
the
I'm saying.
dynamic you trying to create though?
I see.
Because
I don't know because, like I said, I don't. I feel like when he said that, I'm like, did I miss something? Like, why would she never cook? Because they've obviously been good. Like before this, they was pretty much good,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
So for her to not cook I'm like, was that just the normal? And it just sometimes things are amplified in sensitive moments, right? Like Zar is always typically forgetful when it comes to like certain stuff around the house. She'll forget to take her shoes from downstairs, or
Oh
she'll forget to turn
God.
out the light or something like that, right?
Yeah, that's true.
That's just how she is, right? But when me and Jar are beefing, I can sometimes I have to stop myself from thinking that she did it maliciously, right? This is something that she's always done,
Right.
but sometimes in a moment of
Yeah, when you're
of
angry, you're
you
upset.
think
Yeah.
you have to stop yourself from
I
going.
know you ain't leave them shoes down here like
You see what
that's what it.
you
Yeah,
understand what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So that's why I asked the question,
yeah.
because if she
Good for
never
you.
if
I'm
she
glad you do that.
if she that's you understand. So if
Yes.
because I'm saying that if she never cooked and he's just in an emotional moment, to him he like, well, she ain't, you know what I mean? And it's like
But
she never cooked because she
but
can't cook. I don't know.
he called that out on purpose.
He did.
He
Well,
wanted
it
to
was
make
a hot
it's
moment.
something to but I think it was less. I think he wanted us to know because he could have just said Nui was cooking dinner. He didn't have to say this is the first time she ever cooked me dinner.
But he said that in a he then went on to explain the biggest argument that they had ever had, right? So this it was an emotionally charged moment. Like you said, Steve just
Oh, he like, which technically you still ain't cooked me no goddamn
right,
dinner.
right, right, right. You know what I
I'm still
mean?
hungry, ho.
Right.
So okay, but I did like how Steve sat her the hell down. You know what I mean? And it's so funny also going back to the friends and Noise conversation with the friends, how the friends aren't worried about Steve. Like you can tell he's okay because the people
No, the friends
around
was
him.
worried because they was pushing back at the table in the kitchen.
No, that was her friends.
That's what.
I'm talking about. I'm saying his
Oh yeah, because
friends
his friends are like,
sat in
because
front of
his friends
Noy.
literally said, we can offer him a job right now if he wants. They understood that.
But that's what I'm saying, right? Like so, like that to me would kind of affirm.
That just confirms the lack of communication because they know him and Noy doesn't. So they obviously know, everybody know more information about Steve than apparently fucking Noy. And that's the problem. That's really the problem here.
Well, the way she walking out and not answering her phone, y'all do not do that. That is very toxic. It's
and that's
not
what he
okay.
said to her.
And when he sat her
he
down
said
and did
to
it,
her,
I was so proud of him.
yeah, he said to her, like, that's
That's
unacceptable.
That's unacceptable. He said it was unacceptable,
He said that's
and it's an unhealthy way to handle things.
Yeah.
And I said, let her know.
And he leaned, but and he also confirmed their lack of communication. He said, I mean, you want this to be better, you want to do this, but we don't talk. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're upset, when we get upset, when we're upset, we don't talk.
Yeah, you don't even give me the opportunity to fix it.
He's leaning into what I'm saying about the issue about the lack of communication. They just
Yeah.
not talking about really nothing. Like when everybody, you know, they just doing a representative thing. Everybody just meet each other, and he's so perfect, she's so great, everything's so great, but nobody's having these real conversations.
Yeah. And that's true. And I just, I still like Noy. I want you to know that. I just want her to come around and
I like them both.
I like them together.
I do like them both.
And
I just
think it could
understand.
win. I think it could win. I just think, it's growing pains. That's all.
I think this is
we're gonna chalk it up to that.
But I think this is 1,000% growing pains. And I think the one of the easiest issues in a relationship to fix is communication. Because you just have to start fucking talking. Yes. Right? That's one of the easiest things to fix. Like, we just have to start talking, right? Just start the process of like, and maybe, and again, if you know that somebody struggles with that, then maybe you take the lead in that. okay, I understand that my wife has an issue with communication and I don't have an issue with communication. So I'm going to take the lead in that. That's what I'm talking about. Accountability on both parts. It can't just be, well, you suck at that. So you should just be better. Like, you know what I mean? That's not what marriage is.
Yeah. So let's talk about Lindsay and Mark. I don't even want to spend too much time on this because I don't even want to rid my house with this. I might have to sage after this, just do a little smudging. Because open up some windows, get the demons out. Cause Lindsay, honey.
Lindsay terrorizes Mark at every turn.
Lindsay is Osama bin Laden. Okay.
At every turn.
Lindsay Laden.
And not Lindsay Laden.
Yeah, let me tell you something. She gonna empty a clip. Okay. She like
literally. And
Lindsay,
he's
girl.
fed up. He is fed up. He's
But let
tired.
me tell you something. Lindsay got to be a goddamn. Lindsay got to be a Cancer. I would even almost. I wouldn't say she a Virgo. She a little too over the top. I'm a Virgo too, but I think Lindsay might be a Cancer because she be really coming for that man.
She does.
So a lot happened with them in this episode. He sits down, talks to his friend, and just lets him know, like, I'm feeling like a little bit like it's nice to have come home to somebody. It's nice to have somebody who cares, which is really dope that she cares and she is trying to help him along. But this is why I think she had Cancer, y'all. Cancers are so loving, and it comes with a price. See, Cancers will love on you, love on you, love on you, and then they'll be like, well, I did that for you too. Everything is like really transactional with them. It's very fascinating, and that's why I think she's a Cancer because she's so nice to him, he can't be upset about anything that she does, which is bullshit. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like he's allowed to say you are over the top. Even listening to her talk, I was just like, girl. And anybody who know me, I don't give a fuck who I'm in front of. I'm gonna say whatever I want to. Mammies, grand, I don't care. I'm grown. You know what I mean? And y'all can call that a lack of respect or whatever the case may be. But when do I get to be a fucking adult? So it's like I done pay all these goddamn bills, do all these goddamn things. When do I get to have me a drink and curse like a sailor and smoke my Newports down to the filters?
No, not
when
Newport.
do I get to do that? Okay,
No.
so I get her. I get her and being her. Like I'm gonna do whatever I want to do, be my authentic self. But I also feel like,
But you know how to read the room, and
yeah,
Lindsay does not.
She illiterate.
She does not. Period. She does not know how to read the room.
She is illiterate.
And I think that is Mark's issue with her because I can imagine how uncomfortable that I can only imagine.
Do you ever feel like that?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like I can only imagine. I can only fathom how uncomfortable it has to be with someone in mixed company and all the time be fearful that a grenade might go off.
Oh my god!
I can't imagine. I cannot
especially
imagine being
around
in
the blacks.
How about that?
He like
especially around because you're gonna get somebody killed. You're gonna get me killed. That's what Mark is thinking. Like I'm not
gang members.
I'm sure he's thinking that.
He's a crib. Now
like,
I'm
not fighting the black.
He's thinking like I believe Black Lives Matter.
Yeah, like I'm not doing this. Yeah, like I can only imagine how frustrating it is, especially when you feel like there isn't any merit. Like he was trying to tell her, you were picking at Katina for the second time. Katina didn't say nothing to you, and then you voluntarily called her out again and saying, why are you rolling your eyes? She didn't say anything. So you're looking for fights. So that I'm gonna have as a man that I gotta finish.
Right.
Because if her man decided to pop off, now I gotta pop off.
And he ain't built like that.
He's not built like that.
But I was trying to figure that out because it kind of happened fast for me. I was trying to figure out like what's happening here. Like, how did we get here?
Because she's always looking for the smoke, and Mark is the opposite of that.
He is so.
And Katina is like about it. Like Katina will give you that smoke, and so Mark is like, stop picking at Katina because you really don't want that smoke. And Katina, I'm so glad Katina told her, don't be fake, girl. You know you're not supposed to talk to me. She literally said, you know better than to talk to me. So I don't even know why you're doing this again, because she's being very good at exercising self-control.
Yeah.
Katina, let her roll whatever you need to do.
But even though, I'm going to be honest, I would have said the same. What are you rolling your eyes at?
But
You already know.
no,
Is it?
no, you
Is there a problem in the corner?
no, because you don't pick fights.
I don't
You
pick
don't pick
fights. I
fights.
don't pick
I
fights.
don't think you would have done that.
But I am very.
She,
But
but
I don't like that though. I
Lindsay
don't
always
fights.
pick fights, and I think that's the issue is that she's because he said the same thing that happened with Elijah Wan. He said when he
Yeah.
told he was
said he
telling the
got
friend
3 outs. He gave her 3
he
outs.
said he said he kept giving her outs like
Yeah.
yo chill right.
Yeah.
So I think that that's his, and I think that's everybody's problem with Lindsay. Like you keep picking at people, and I am the king of
Yeah.
like yo, stop picking at me. Stop trying me. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not the Hulk now, but I will turn into the Hulk because I'm human if you keep picking at me. And I think that is Mark's number one issue. Like, you picking at Katina, you picking at
Yeah.
Elijah,
But
and
then if somebody really come at you, you're gonna have an issue with that.
now I'm in it and I don't pick at nobody.
Right. Like damn. And that is kind of messed up. And I like that he kind of nipped it in the bud. Like you have to be a team player. Like leave it alone.
Yeah.
Even though I'm two faced on this situation because when she said, "Who are you here for?" Anybody who know me know that's how I feel. If I'm fighting a bitch, you better be stomping that whore in the back. I don't give a fuck if you a man or not.
Right.
We're gonna jump this out.
Which is
Period.
true.
So I want y'all to know that's how me and my man ride out here. Okay.
Which is true.
We jumping your motherfucking ass, bitch. We don't give a fuck about you.
Right.
But
I think I think his thing was like, we had a conversation about this.
yes.
And that's what he meant by
exactly.
team.
That's
like he meant by team, like, yo, we talked about this. Like we had a plan. We had a game
before
plan.
she came
Yeah.
in this bitch. Don't be out here acting the motherfucker.
Yeah, we had a game plan. Because it's not a random thing. You said because that's where the tension came from. If it was a random joint in the street, like I'm sure that Mark would have been like,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
Knew that y'all
but it
had
was like,
tension.
come on, bro.
Right.
We already discussed
Right.
this. We made a game plan, and then you went back on it, and that's my issue with you now.
But then when she was airing this man out,
it was like too much. Like, bro.
Let me tell you something. Lindsay unloaded the clip for you, me, George Washington ex-wife.
But this is but now we can see why Lindsay is. I mean, we've seen before.
Why she's single?
Why she's single? Like Lindsay,
it was always clear to me, crystal clear. But to me,
I like and that you know what also tell me
therapy though, because that's mean.
Not only that, but you know what also it tells me that Lindsay don't have like real girlfriends. You know, because the one thing the quickest way to lose a man is to emasculate him. You know what I mean? Like that's the quickest way.
Some men is into that.
Well, we're not talking about.
You see me?
We ain't talking about that.
Some men like it.
the quickest way to lose him is to emasculate him, right? Argue respectfully, throw dart, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But when a man starts feeling like you're digging at his manhood, you're trying to make him feel less than. That's when that is the quickest way. And it seems like with Lindsay, that is her comfort zone. Like, oh,
Lindsay said he made $60,000.
I mean,
first of all, $60,000 is not terrible.
Just to
like,
girl, Lindsay, you will lose him. Like you'll lose him forever.
But you know what? It was that I have to repeat some of these because it just sent.
I can't even. It was so many of them.
Give me an orgasm.
Oh yeah.
Like
going back to now we in middle school. Your dick is little anyway.
Why? Because of your small balls. Like to me, it just was giving.
You don't ever want to see this man again. That's what it was.
It was giving. Yes.
Like
yes, that's it. Honestly, yes, that's what it was given, and it wasn't nice. Granted, she wasn't trying to be nice at that point, but it was abnormally mean. Like really, 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 really mean. Like I just thought it was like even
talking about his mom and stuff like that. Like
talking about
his
roach infested house. Do you know how he probably felt so embarrassed by that? Like he wasn't able to put his best foot forward, and that happened to him.
I mean. And to Katina's point, because this is why they in the catbird seat, y'all. I tried to tell y'all that, but I'm gonna let it ride. Katina said a good point when she said like Lindsay is doing stuff like that just puts more holes in your situation and makes it harder to come back from, right? So now you are opening gaping holes
Yeah.
in
And it's not that you just
in the
disrespectful to them, you disrespectful to me too.
not only that, but in the space of being vulnerable, right?
Yeah.
Like this, you guys build up a certain level of trust, a certain level of vulnerability, right? And if I feel like anytime we are in a space of discourse, you start shooting at my vulnerabilities, or you start shooting at something that I told you in confidence, or you start shooting at X, Y, and Z, guess what happens the next time I have a chance to be vulnerable with you? I
I'm not
won't
going
be.
to. 1,000%. I just think that Lindsay is needs to be investigated because she is a terrorist.
I
This
just
baby was out here just going ham on this man, and it just was like really very scary to watch. It made me so it honestly I turned it off, if I'm being honest. I didn't even hear everything that she was saying, and
I
him
mean
talking
that
to
was pretty much
Chris,
everything.
and him
And
talking to Chris, I thought was really good, because even Chris was like, well, what did Pastor Kyle say? Mark gonna say he said the same fucking thing I said.
straight up, I
He
mean,
said what I said. What did you do?
yeah, because he's a Pastor Kyle like confirmed like you're a lot, and that is a lot, and that's not how
But
you.
she gotta know she ain't got all the answers.
No, she doesn't know.
Like
Lindsay is
it's
aloof in that
okay.
way. She does not know,
Like it's okay,
and
y'all.
she doesn't know what she's doing to Mark. I'm sure Mark
She
has.
don't know what she doing to herself. She just don't fucking like. I think that she is so ill, and this sounds so bad because I do think in some way we all kind of are damaged, but I think that she is actually like a fucking big can of beans because she really act the way that she acts is so, and I know I don't want to like overuse the word toxic, but
It is. That's. I
it's
mean,
abhorrent.
that's what it is.
It is like you're an adult, and I get it, and we all have been there where you say things you don't mean, and or you say mean thing. You know
Of
what you're saying,
course, but that's
but
her
you say
go-to
mean
spot.
thing. But for that to be your, it's like no
Yeah,
escalation.
it's never an escalation. It's always like I want to be like downright degrading every time we
Yeah,
arguing
like you
about.
Mario Andretti. You just
Yeah,
go from
like,
0 to 100, motherfucker. Like
and that's what he got
that's
to be tired of. He
crazy.
got to be like he got to be done with that.
I just don't. I wonder how other people in her life handle that,
They don't. They just stay away from her. They avoid her.
because
This is why
that
she has
shit
no
is
family
hard.
and very little friends. It has to
It's
be.
but the dad said you like wrestling with alligators.
That
Joe
was
gonna say,
it.
but Joe gonna say this was made it funny. Joe gonna say because Joe didn't understand what he was saying. Joe gonna say because we just got finished listening to Voldemort. He gonna say, "What is it with these people? Ain't no alligators in Boston." I'm like, no, we know it's no alligators in Boston.
Where is the alligators at,
He
bro?
was so
I think I was
annoyed.
high.
He's like, "Where's the alligators?" I'm like, she's the alligator in this analogy.
Also, his dad's a little weird, so
I mean, that was her dad. Yeah, her
her
dad.
dad, yeah,
But still weird.
yeah.
But I thought that was so hilarious. But
He's tired of wrestling with these
and
alligators.
the dad was like, I'm tired of wrestling with these alligators. But what's the bull name? I ain't fucking Steve Irwin. Fuck
Yeah,
this shit. Okay. I ain't about to be mauled and eaten up by no goddamn
nah.
crocodile. Y'all not about to do it, okay? So, Lindsay girl, you gotta do better. I'm not in the business of caping for white men like this, girl. So you're gonna have to step your grades up.
Well, I mean, she making it. She's
She
making it.
making it hard because I come here, Mark. Give me a hug.
Yeah, I think everybody. I think outside of Chris, it's not another man on the show that.
Got a harder way to go. Let me tell you something hard.
Yeah,
And he's trying, and that's what makes
that's what makes it
that's
worse.
fucked
Well,
up.
what really makes it worse is, like I said, like w- when you're not meeting them with that same energy. He never meets her with the same energy.
I mean,
That's what makes it
but
worse.
he told
Like
her
you bringing
after
a
that,
you bringing
this
a
will not
machine
work.
gun to a fist
She's
fight.
in a tank. Okay.
Like why? Marcus never on that tip ever.
And would never air you out like
He
that. Like
never.
to say all those things. Like
He's like whispering, "Can you please stop?" And she's like, "Fuck your mother and your brother."
Yes.
I'm like, "What's happening? How did we get here?"
But why when I say the F word? it don't bother me. But when you say that for, I'm like, oh my god,
because
language.
I'm the more reserved one of us too. That's why. So
That might be true.
it's
I'm
alarming.
not even gonna like disagree with that.
It's it's
Okay.
alarming.
So yeah, that's our review of Married at First Sight. I'm gonna make Joe get this out tonight. So there you go. Don't be doing all that freaky shit you be doing. Put that shit out there so these people can
Yeah, yeah.
see
It
it.
won't be no freaky stuff today.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be no freaky shit today. But I hope you guys enjoyed this bust down. Let us know how you feeling about Married at First Sight. Who is in the catbird seat for you
It's
guys?
Katina Lajuan. If you say something different, you're wrong.
That's the truth. All the rest of these motherfuckers is not gonna make it.
A period. I mean,
they are not
I
gonna
don't know.
make it.
There's not enough to be
Okay?
said. Like,
So subscribe to our channel. Make sure that you're following both of us on our socials. Subscribe to my YouTube channel as well. So you guys can get some updates on my hair and beauty and all things me. We'll see you beautiful mother jumpers later.
peace.
Bye.